my name is Andrew McEvan and I'm the Non-Violence Programme Coordinator for War Resisters International. War Resisters is a global network of pacifist and anti-militarist organisations, and that means the network is made up of lots of different groups, mainly quite grassroots organisations doing different things against war and its causes. But what brings us together is that sense that war should never happen and it's never right, and we recognise the interconnectedness of all the different struggles that are going on around the world, and we recognise that we need to share resources and that we need to show each other solidarity, and when we can help each other we will, if we have the resources to do that. And so War Resisters International tries to help that networking happen, tries to make those relationships stronger, and tries to build, I think trust is probably the main thing within a movement that is spread all over the world.
Estoy viva porque estás viva. I am alive because you are alive.
Learning and being open to doing things differently.
Indigenous solidarity.
Solidarity with militarization of indigenous land.
Howdy, I am Chief Namox of the Wet'suwet'en. I am a hereditary chief. We have 22,000 square kilometers that we, the chiefs, look after on behalf of our nation and our people. We are non-treaty. We've never signed an agreement with any form of government to give up our authority or our jurisdiction. We had to prove this in the December 11th, 1997 court case, Delgamukkwa, that we are the authority on the land, and British Columbia and Canada only have assumed and presumed authority. I am here today with WRI to ensure that the messages of peace is the way to move forward. What we are going through as the Wet'suwet'en Nation, being invaded by armed forces of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, we will always react in a peaceful manner. They are being violent, we will remain peaceful, and it is the way to move forward. If we cannot conduct ourselves in a proper manner on our own lands, then we have lost ourselves as a people, as a nation, and who we are as Wet'suwet'en. I'm very pleased to be here to communicate with you all that if we work together, we will always win. And always remember, your heart is strong when you tell the truth. We are here to tell the truth. Masai Kyo.
Hi, I'm Subhas and I'm part of the War Resisters International. And this time here in London, we are organizing the triennial of War Resisters International, where affiliates of the War Resisters International come together from different parts of the world. And one of the things we did in this gathering is themed plenary sessions, and in plenary sessions we were talking about the experiences about how we are experiencing militarism in different parts of the world. We were also looking at the intersectionality of different issues like militarism and climate change, indigenous rights, consensus objection, how those are interconnected, how arms trade and business is interlinked with all those things.
My name is Helen Kidan and I am with Eritrean Movement for Democracy and Human Rights. I gave a presentation looking at indefinite military service in Eritrea, so I just gave a kind of a background onto the situation. And today, Sunday the 18th, we conducted a workshop with another colleague of mine, Mulu Burhan, who's the director of Foundation Human Rights for Eritrea. So we conducted a workshop on Eritrea today.
There are all these social problems within the family that it also causes. And also the culture, the values that you teach your children and the values that they learn in the military are opposing each other.
Okay, my name is Aviatar Moshe Ruben. I'm from Jerusalem. I'm 20 years old. I was a conscientious objector. I refused to serve in the Israeli military because of the ongoing occupation of the West Bank, the siege of the Gaza Strip, and the innumerable atrocities that were required for Zionism. I spoke here on Friday about the situation in Israel and what I believe to be the practically only way forward for us as peace activists in Israel. I am participating in a workshop about non-violent organization for campaigns and how to organize campaigns better.
My name is Saha. I'm from Jerusalem and I've both given a presentation and I did a theme group around climate and militarism. And the idea is for us as an anti-militarist movement to bring in more issues on climate, see the intersections between them, see both how militarization feeds the climate crisis, but also how the climate crisis is creating further militarization or is being used and abused for further militarization and is part of what we need to be resisting here. In the theme groups, we're trying to bring from different experiences of different people around the world, from Australia, from Colombia, from Palestine, from all the different places, to understand how we can also work together on this issue, because both the climate crisis affects people very differently and militarization affects people very differently, but it is all the same themes. So it's really about trying to understand how can we do strategic action together, not just bringing together experiences and voices, but also moving forward into action in a way that we strengthen each other and inspire each other.
Hola, mi nombre es Camila Rodríguez, vengo de Latinoamérica, en Colombia, en la región Centro Oriente, territorio Muisca. Para mí y para nosotras y nosotros como pueblos indígenas y como movimiento antimilitarista es importante visibilizar las afectaciones territoriales de los conflictos socioambientales generados por estas empresas privadas del primer mundo que hacen presencia en nuestros territorios y que generan despojo violento a comunidades, que generan afectaciones profundas en la naturaleza y que también surgen de un consumo energético insostenible de estos países occidentales y donde nosotros sostenemos la vida proveyendo como estas energías renovables y no renovables que extraen del subsuelo, que extraen de nuestras aguas, de nuestros ríos Quisiera como que pudiésemos generar una conciencia global, una globalización de la resistencia para generar acciones conjuntas de incidencia, generar conciencia frente al consumo individual, pensarnos los movimientos hacia una unidad colectiva y autónoma, pero que sea consciente de las realidades violentas locales, ¿sí? Lograr conectar lo global con lo local, con lo territorial, para poder transformarlo desde apuestas individuales y colectivas, colectivizar las luchas más allá de las formas.
I'm Marta, I'm 23 years old and I'm from Spain, and I'm here at the International World Resistance, and I was asked to talk about what militarism, what anti-militarism movement we want to build today and in the future. And I was thinking that it is a really big question to ask, but in my lecture I talk about a few important points, which are mobilizing the youth, because in my country the youth is really not involved in the anti-militarism cause, and I think it's important to have an intergenerational movement. I also talk about transversality, to have a movement that touches all the causes, because when we talk about anti-militarism we talk about violence, and every oppression is a kind of violence, so it's important to be united to talk about all of that.
Natalia Garcia, and I'm part of World Resistance International, and I work specifically in the Right to Refuse to Kill program and the counter-militarization of youth program as well. And in this conference what we wanted to do is like give a space to people to discuss how they can enrich and strengthen their own campaigns. So we had like two different spaces. One was the workshops that were like self-organized by the participants, about like many issues or like topics that were interesting for them. And then like we had the theme groups, where we tried like during the 3 days of the conference to invite people to discuss about like these themes more in depth, and like try to find like common strategies and plan like for the future actions, and yeah, like what else they can do like in their own context, and also like in solidarity with other people.
Adrian Twister takes a lonely Kansas farm girl to a magical land. She must set out on a dangerous journey to find a wizard with the power to send her home. What film is that? Wizard of Oz. Ah, fantastic.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Bays. I'm from Campaign Against Arms Trade, and we're here this afternoon for the theme group for arms trade and global military spending. So yesterday we were all talking about people in the room, the kind of things that they were interested in, the kind of skills they had. Today what we're doing is we're going to be looking at the projects they're working on, sharing some thoughts and ideas around what they're doing, and then tomorrow we're going to think about how we can transform our campaigning, so take it from where it is today to where we'd like it to be.
This is Hülya. I'm from Turkey and working with Conscientious Objection Watch, and I also working with Nonviolent Research and Education Center in Istanbul. I have been an exec member of WRI for 2 terms, and I have been a council member. And here, during the conference, I facilitated one theme group together with Joanne Shinan. And the headline of the theme group was about nonviolent campaigning. We tried to come up with the same line with the participants, what we understand about nonviolent campaigning. And then we try to provide them some tools about analyzing the problem they are facing within their daily lives or political lives. Yeah, regarding the workshop, it was about my professional work, conscientious objection. I gave some information about the legal and political and practical situation about conscientious objection in Turkey.
Hi, I'm Resha. Resha Korel from Cyprus. I represent Queer Cyprus Association, and here in Antimilitarist Roots, I've been facilitating the Queer Perspectives group, and sort of with the group we've been trying to sort of map out what are the points of convergence between queer theory, which sort of seeks to bring about the challenges of LGBT people, but also in terms of how the power structures work, especially when it comes to sexual identity, gender, and how that relates to militarism in our everyday lives.
So my name's Larissa Faybock, and I'm here in Shoreditch in London at the War Resisters International Conference, and I came to assist with a workshop, and the workshop was 3 days ago and I almost can't remember what it was but it was about how do we escalate and intensify the movement, the resistance, and how do we draw people in and how do we hold them and do more direct actions.
I'm Margie Pistorius and I'm from Wage Peace in Australia. We ran a workshop on how to intensify direct action against the arms trade, especially against the weapons industry, so that we are making more of an effect in containing the weapons industry. We're using in Australia soft blocks and location-based storytelling, where we go to locations and tell the story of what the weapons industry is doing in Australia, in West Papua, in the world. But we're thinking about, and we're thinking about how we intensify that. At the moment, we're intensifying it at weapons industry events, especially the big arms trade events, where we've been working on the Disrupt Land Forces campaign, where we've been disrupting that weapons industry event. We've been disrupting things coming in, we've been disrupting things when there, we've been making ourselves very annoying to the people attending. But there's a question about, you know, is this enough? And if we're really going to go for a win, what's the win we need to go for, and how do we intensify and escalate so that we can really bring people together to make a hard push for change?
This is Matt Meyer. I've been part of War Resisters International since I was 19 years old, attending the in-person assembly or conference in 1982, and I haven't missed one yet. And what we had in this workshop on revolutionary nonviolence, resistance studies, and peace education was an incredibly dynamic group of people. We had a dynamic conversation about what Devi Prasad, one of the leaders of WI decades and decades ago, and one of the chronicles and historians of WI, said, education for peace or peace education? What approach, what strategic and tactical approach do we use towards the work we do? And it's not an either or thing. If we make it into a dichotomy, an us versus them, then we're incorrect. It's a false dichotomy. There are many tactics, there are many strategies to making social change. And then another conversation, how do we use our words as best as possible for this moment in time, for all of our different grassroots communities in time? So what does the word nonviolence mean in the 21st century? And what does it mean for people of Africa versus people from Europe? There I said that word versus again. Does the putting together of the words revolution and nonviolence give it some extra oomph? And that's the conversation we had from all across the world, where people can come to War Resisters International and come together and talk about all the ways in which we're different, all the ways in which we need to build movement differently to our own local specifications, and ultimately all the ways in which we're exactly the same, and we build these movements together towards one goal of peace with justice.
My name is Gernot Lennart. I'm from the German Peace Society United War Resisters, and we had a workshop on the return of conscription. Conscription was suspended or abolished in many continental European countries since the 1990s, but now we have a turn. It started in 2013 and especially 2014 after the annexation of Crimea by Russia. So in many European countries there is a debate about reintroducing conscription. It has been done already in some countries like Ukraine, Lithuania, Latvia and Sweden, and there's a debate especially in Germany but elsewhere as well, and in France there is another experiment called Service National Universel, and we were exchanging information about the situation in various countries, and we got also information from countries where conscription has been in force and is still being in force, and there's no discussion, no big discussion about abolition, like Turkey, Singapore, and Finland. So it was a quite interesting workshop, bringing together different perspectives, and we have to try now as WRI to find transnational strategies against reintroduction of conscription. And I hope this conference will contribute to it.
So I'm Rachel Brett. I'm on the War Resisters International Right to Refuse to Kill Committee, and this conference has been very important for us in terms of, one, actually meeting the conscientious objectors, both those we're already in contact with and work with, and others that we haven't met before, and being able to spend time understanding their situations, the challenges they face, and the role that War Resisters International and our member organisations and affiliates and associates can undertake to help them in their work to get the recognition of conscientious objection in their own situations.
Thank you.